Good morning. I had to split this into two videos. So here's video part 2. And in this one, I'm going to go over some basic tips that are right here. And we'll just get through as many as we can. So I'm going to actually change these to a different color, and then we'll get through as many as we can. So the first one is just, we kind of already touched upon, these are columns. These are rows, and then this would be a cell. So this is cell A1. We talked about those in the very first video. Then we're going to get into, I don't know what color I want these. So inserting a row. So say you, oops, I forgot a title. So if you wanted to insert a row up here, you would come over here, click on row 1, and say insert row above. And now I can make a title. And if I want to, which I usually do, I usually would select all of those cells. I'm going to merge them. I like my title to stand out, so I would make it a larger font size and title this Business Department Course Options 2020. Okay, so that's done. Widening columns. A lot of times you'll type in your information and you'll see that there's actually not enough room. I had this shortened. And so it's really easy to widen columns. You can just come up here between the column headers. So in this example, I want this column be wider, and you're just going to come up here and widen it to however wide you want it. Another option is to do something called text wrap. So if you didn't want the column that wide, you can do text wrap. So you'll select, in this example, it would be cell A2, and you would come up to text wrap and tell it to wrap. And then what it's going to do is kind of stack the words. So that just really depends on how wide you want your column. So that's helpful. We'll do, and actually I'm going to do that for all of them. So I'm going to wrap the text. So there we go. And then it kind of stacks the text for you. So that's nice. As far as formatting goes, I mean, a lot of that's personal preference. I always think, especially in the business setting, that your spreadsheet should have a custom look, a professional look. So usually at the end, I'll go in and just spend a couple minutes updating. You can add borders. I always think titles and column headers should stand out a little bit. So I might make these a little bit bigger. Maybe you bold them. This column needs widened now. And same with totals. I always think totals should stand out. So whether you bold them, make them a bigger font, change the font, you don't want too many crazy fonts going on. Usually a rule is no more than 2 to 3 fonts per sheet, and that's more of a design recommendation. So just, again, spending a few minutes giving it sort of a custom look, but making sure it looks professional, and you don't need it to have rainbows and things like that. Formulas and functions. We've done these a lot, and we'll continue to do these as we go on. So if I delete this formula, you can always use the function shortcuts. So on your second spreadsheet assignment, it does ask you to use the average, max, and min. So you could play around with those. Sum is the most common one we'll use in these spreadsheet assignments. So you can use that, or you can manually type in formulas, which I almost always do. Formulas are going to start with an equal sign. It's prompting you, but I'm going to type it in. I'm adding in this example, so I would say sum. I want to add all of these together. So here's my formula. Once I hit return, it types in my total. Okay, and you can see your formula up here. And the great thing about using formulas is if I change these numbers, it updates your total for you automatically. So that's the main reason we use formulas. I do want to show you the fill handle, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go over to half marathon. If I were to delete all of these numbers, okay, so the fill handle is pretty cool. You can use it in a variety of settings. I'm going to do 2, 3. So in this situation, you want to show the pattern. So I did type week 1, week 2, week 3. Now I can select these and use the fill handle, hovering over this bottom right corner, drag it down, and it'll actually just keep adding the pattern for you. So the fill handle is very useful. Same with dates. We do the dates. So I started with this date. For this one, I did equals a 4 plus 7 because I wanted it to be basically every week. And now that I have that formula in there, I can use the fill handle and drag down, and it'll add all the dates in for you. So that's pretty cool. Adding and renaming sheets. I think I showed you that before, but you can come down here and add sheets, and then you can also click on the arrow to rename sheets. Okay, and then inserting a chart. I'm going to show you that later in spreadsheet 2. I am going to actually take a video of myself completing the second spreadsheet assignment, but it's really easy. Select the